Who are these podcasts? WATP.
Shalom, Shuli.
Gentlemen, what's happening?
What's happening, buddy?
How are we?
The reason why I wanted to bring you on today, and thank you for coming on short notice, I was watching the video you did with Vince, Stuttering John's former attorney, and the video is great because it's all the clickbaity stuff. It's called, "Is Shuli going back to Stern Show?" It's got
he's such a lawyer, Vinny.
He's
it's
so good at that.
unbelievable.
So you guys were breaking down this whole episode of, so this guy's a super dago, this guy Tommy.
Right.
He's had like work done on his face. He's all tan. He's got the veneer. It looks directly out of Jersey Shore casting.
He looks like one of the Gotti kids.
Yeah.
When they had that TV show. You know what I mean?
And have you seen this at all?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't. What's up, Shuli?
How are you, buddy?
Great, man.
I was watching you play Call of Duty the other night.
I watch you when you stream it too. So it's pretty
I think
funny.
we're officially gay now.
I think that is the gay. It's like, hey, I saw your porn. I saw your gay porn, man. It's awesome.
That's like Tim Dillon was talking about, like, being gay doesn't mean having sex with men anymore. It's literally just watching each other play video games. That's the new gay. Like, you could put a dick in your mouth, but that's not as gay as talking about watching each other play Call of Duty.
Oh, me going to my wife like, Aunt had such a great headshot is literally sticking my tongue up his asshole.
It's the equivalent. It's the 2021 equivalent. So I want to start off by talking about what he was saying about you, Shuli, and then we'll get into the Anthony stuff. So he brings up the fact that when you guys went out to LA, he stuck the camera in your face, or Royce did, and he was trying to interview you and all these gotcha questions. And he goes, "And Shuli's such a pussy." I'm sure you guys covered this. I can get it all the way through your video. "Shuli's such a pussy. He just told security on me and had me escorted out." And then he says this, and I want to get your comment on it.
Because you know they're not allowed to talk to me.
Yeah.
That I know is a fact. They are not allowed to talk to any of the fucking cast members. They are not allowed. So Shuli did exactly what he was supposed to do, because he knew that if he even talked to me, he'd be in trouble.
Now, I heard you say, Shuli, on your show that you talk to your ex-coworkers all the time. So I'm assuming that's not a hard and fast rule that Howard has?
I was going to say he gets a little confused by can't and won't. There's no what's in it for anyone on the show to converse with him when he just goes out on whatever platform that's left for him to go on and just make shit up. Like, he's just a pathological liar, and plus he shits on where we all work. So what are we going to put our arm around and ask for somebody to come take a picture with a guy who hates where we work and who we work for? It's like, dude, there's no point in anyone talking to you.
Dude, you gotta put yourself in Stuttering John's shoes there for a second. He has to fall down and pass out and shut his eyes and sleep at night. The only way he can do that is by thinking that people can't talk to him, because the other option is so disturbing and horrifying to him that no one wants to talk to him. And it's kind of how it is with the Opster. I'll be honest. Opie, I talked to every single person I worked with during the Opie and Anthony show. I work with some of them, and Opie doesn't at all. And he chooses to believe that it's because of me. I have turned everyone against Opie. And it's insanely sociopathic. But, like I said, they have to somehow get to sleep at night.
Well, imagine that even being a rule. So you're at a staff meeting, and Marcy or Howard or whoever gets up and says, "All right, if anyone who used to work here wants to text with you or chat or play a video game, then it's off limits." Like, they're dictating your personal life, who you can be friends with. Yeah. How does that even make sense? How would you police that?
Yeah. Not to go into detail, but I sent Howard an email about something and got a reply from him. So, Like I don't know what he's talking about, but the thing I love about
Was
this,
the email, "Isn't John an asshole?" And the response was yes.
Very
no,
observant.
I wrote, "Can I come back?" And he wrote back, "Who is this?" And, that was, no,
New number.
But the thing about John is, with this interview in particular, is he gets so wasted that it becomes like you turn the RPM on a record player down. His whole speech.
That's all what you know. I don't drink when I work.
Oh my God, it's fascinating.
It's
I hang on
amazing.
every dumb word.
He gets so wasted, and you got to go and watch the video that Shuli did with Vinny, because Vinny pulled all the clips and pulled out some really good choice cuts. But the stuff that Croge and I did on 2 different bonus episodes, there wasn't anything you couldn't clip on it, because he's so drunk from the beginning to the end. And then by the end, like you said, he's slurring his words. His mouth is so full of saliva that I feel like I'm getting sprayed just listening to it. And he's so angry at Howard Stern. He's calling him Pelican Face and, I would kick his ass. And then it's great timing. He goes, well, if he asked you to come back on the show tomorrow, would you go? He's like, yeah, of course. I'd go there in a heartbeat. That's not how life works. You can't just trash someone nonstop and be like, I don't know why he won't have you on the show. I don't know what his problem is. And the other funny thing about that is, so he shows up in LA and he wanted to interview all the staff, Shuli. You know, obviously he talked to you and you kind of ignored him and he went away.
He hung out. Let's just set this up and paint the picture here. We were in this big new studio for Sirius that they're debuting with Howard Show. He's in the alley, okay, hanging out in the alley with Melrose Larry Green and Speech Impediment Man. Yeah. So that's where he was in his green room waiting to talk to somebody in the show.
But he was holding court, though. I mean, he was definitely the most successful out of those 3 guys.
Yeah, they were bowing to him, kissing his feet.
So he explains that he went out there to try to interview all of the Stern staffers, didn't get a single response to one question, and now thinks he's going to go to Washington, D.C. and interview senators and Congress people, and he's actually going to get some kind of response from that. It's insane. And actually, since I brought that up, I think he's backing out. I think he's backing out from the whole D.C. thing.
No way, really?
He hints at it.
He talked about it ad nauseum.
Dude, he's supposed to go back in August. This has been going on since June. This is the next thing I'm going to do. And then he's like, oh, did you know that they're all off in August? Like, yes, everyone knows that. I guess I can't go. So this is what he says to Richard Ojeda just this week.
Then I'm going to see when I'm going to D.C. I'm thinking about November. There's 1 week. This is how fucking, I'll tell you, Richard, the politicians have it made. They don't work. I mean, there's only 1 week that they're in there, according to Gonzo. There's only 1 week in November that they're going to be in Congress. 1 week. Then I'm thinking about instead going in December because I want to come out to my mom for Christmas. But probably they take the whole month of December off for all we know.
Yeah. So this is going to be his excuse. I went out there at Christmas Day and nobody's there. I can't believe it.
Standing there with a microphone. For all we know, he literally could Google the schedule.
Yep.
And see actually when they are there and not there. But, that would take some type of preparation.
I love his team, too. According to my associate Gonzo. And the whole
From my Washington bureau.
I apologize. My political, I have a nosebleed as your political correspondent right now.
I do want to point out, because I was confused, Gonzo Shitcock, who is in our chat right now, this is a different Gonzo than the one who is helping John out with his DC trip.
There's two Gonzos.
There's two Gonzos.
And what's going on? Listen, here's a serious question. All jokes aside, what's going on with Richard Ojeda? He is on this show morning, noon, and night.
I know.
What's going on? Is life that bad for him?
And they even talk about, this is really fun. I don't think I pulled all these clips because it was too much, but they even talk about how people troll Richard Ojeda and tell him, why are you going on John's show? What are you doing? What, you're wasting your time. And then he sends those notes to John with questions like, do you know this guy? Ojeda's so out of it. He doesn't understand how the internet works. Is this a friend of yours, John? John's like, no, I don't know that guy. So great.
The whole scene is fantastic.
I love it. All right. So he starts talking about you, Anthony. And it's funny because at first he says, I'm not going to mention any names. I'll tell you afterwards.
Let me ask you this, because this is a very good topic.
I'm with you on this one.
Okay, let me ask you this, and I'm not going to mention the shows. I'll tell you after we stop recording. There's a certain show that actually, because I was in, we were having like a Twitter war, started posting pictures of my kids and goofing on their looks, on their sexual preference, and started trashing my children. And my children, because they, fans of this show, started attacking my children on social media. I'll tell you who this prick is, but I am telling you right now.
Say his name, man. Fuck him.
Anthony Cumia.
It didn't take much to get that out, did it?
Yeah. I'm afraid you'd fold under questioning.
Let's just call him A. Cumia.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, let's just call him Anthony.
Anthony C.
Anthony C, yeah. Not A. Cumia, Anthony C.
It rhymes with Opie and Anthony. That's all I'll say.
He's so fucking drunk here. You hear him. The image I'm getting in my head is when the alien gets that second jaw coming out of it. And it's just dripping.
Yes. You're not far off on that. And this is a video that's actually in HD. Unlike the camera that he uses on his show, you could actually see him, which is disturbing. I don't recommend it.
HD is huge douchebag for us.
All right, so and I'm gonna tell you, you need to be afraid.
I swear to you right now.
Fuck him.
If I'm ever, I don't want to be violent here because I don't want any problems. But I'm saying,
not going to be.
Fuck him off.
Anthony Cumia, to do that, there is a low life.
Low life. No, that's a fucking There's wrong and then there's evil. That's fucking evil.
But he's a gun carrier. So it's not even like if I could, I go up to him, hypothetically,
right,
punch him in the face.
You learned something from me.
So he would kick your ass, Ant, if you weren't
If I didn't carry a gun.
If you weren't carrying, obviously.
Why don't you take off that badge, Sheriff, and we'll brawl out in the street.
He's that guy who thinks he's gonna fist fight and successfully beat John Wick in the movies. He's threatening and walking up to Ant's fucking armory over there.
Yeah, I got skills. I could disarm him with a pencil.
So the reason why I bring this up, and I know you're not a big fan of conflict, Anthony. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything like that.
No,
but what's really annoying about this is that Stuttering John, when he actually gets called out for being very sensitive and thin-skinned, it's like, John, we're busting balls. Like, get over it. He'll always go to, but when you bring up my kids, they didn't choose to be famous like their pops. That's not fair. It's so fucking annoying, this whole argument. He even said, there was a clip that we played on the show. He goes, and Anthony was goofing on my kids on the Artie and Anthony show, and Artie said, if you do that one more time, I'm walking out. And I was like, I don't think Artie would do that. That doesn't sound like something Artie would do. He sounds like more of a ball buster than a guy would be like,
first of all,
that's
Artie
too much.
probably wanted to walk out to do more coke in the bathroom.
Well, right.
So he's like, anything. If you say another word, I'm walking out.
That's a good point. I remember those days.
Artie was not quite there at that point.
By the way, Artie's back on Monday, everybody.
Yes, Monday. He's
return
doing
of the Artie Lang Show.
a podcast. I think who's he got? Bob Saget is going to be his first guest, and I'm psyched for him, man.
Me
He's
too.
been clean down in Florida, so I hope he can continue. Oof, that's a tough one.
Yeah, people have been like, nobody's heard from Artie. I said, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
Yeah. And he hasn't been in jail, so apparently he's piss testing clean. So, God bless. I hope he does well. I like Artie a lot.
All right, here's the last clip I want to play about Anthony going after my kids.
Like, even the mob has the fucking respect to not go after children or wives.
What?
That's even the mob won't do that.
I'm
And
worse than
this
the mob.
jackass, Anthony Cumia,
decides to go after my fucking children, could you see how fucking much I would fucking want to beat the shit out of them?
He's fired up right there.
But you come after me, it's like coming after Alec Baldwin. You're fucking,
Take you down.
you and the person behind you are getting shot.
Literally, you're at the bar and your friend or just some guy you just met just had way too much to drink, and he's just screaming like this, and there's spit hitting you, and you're just like, how do I get away from this fucking monster?
Oh, he's just pontificating about his beer muscles and how he's
Yes.
going to just beat the shit out of somebody. And yeah, you're like, oh, I got to get away.
You're going to kick his ass. If it wasn't for a wall, you wouldn't make it to the bathroom, all right? So I don't know who you're threatening.
And Tommy's egging him on the whole time. Tommy at one point goes, yeah, man, if it were me, I would do 10 years. I don't care, man, because if you disrespect my
Tommy's
kids.
super Italian. He's like, I'll kill a guy, I'll do 10 years, and I'll be proud knowing that I killed a guy that said something about my kid.
And that whole comparison to the mafia, like you made a joke about John or his kids or whatever you did, and John has turned this into like you put a hit job out on them. It's like, this is very, very different. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Made a joke about my wife. But you said she had a 90-pound mole on her ass?
Yeah, I know. It's like Ralphie and Johnny Sack all over again.
Yeah. Ralphie and Johnny Sack.
Meanwhile, he might want to look into the cartel. Those guys have a set of different rules, by the way.
I know that the idea that they don't go after families. Are you nuts? What are you talking about?
And by the way, John is, and we've talked about this before, as did Artie. He didn't leave the show or say he was going to leave because I was talking about John. Artie's the one that brings up the fact that John is so his response to anything that he even perceives as an insult is the atomic bomb.
Yes.
Like that's his response. So, with Artie, it was, you drink bleach, try to kill yourself. and Artie's like, Jesus Christ, I just said your shirt looked a little fucking wrinkled. He just goes, he goes after you on 11. So, I say something, then he says something, and then I make a joke about his kids because, Jesus, I mean, come on. let's be real here. And I don't even blame them. Having a father like John has to be quite the experience growing up. But and then he takes it to like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Well, John, look at what the shit you do in a drunken stupor.
Well, I mean, that's really the thing. That energy he puts out there of like, I'm going to fuck with anyone and everyone and say whatever I want. I mean, if people can go back, I'm sure there's stuff he said about Howard's daughters or other people's kids. He's not innocent in this war. He's got blood on his hands. And you put that energy out there, people... Yeah, people are going to respond with that same energy.
It's funny you say that. Somebody posted in our subreddit a clip from years ago on the Howard Stern show where Stuttering John is talking about Howard's 15-year-old daughter and how hot she is. They're at some music festival or something. And he's like, yeah, so your daughter. It's like, oh, Jesus, dude.
Well, he'll go, but that was a compliment. That was a compliment.
Right. Saying I wanted to fuck was a compliment.
So
It was a positive review.
My buddy Vinny and I went back and we reviewed the Artie and Anthony show where Stuttering John was the guest the final time. This was in 2017.
Yeah.
And
What a fun episode that was.
Oh my God. We broke it all down because it's so funny. He comes on there guns a-blazing. Like he's ready to make fun of everyone. He's like, you guys are trashing me and blah, 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 blah. He always says you can't make fun of people they can't fix. And Anthony, you go, one too many isn't a great move. And he goes, okay, pock face. Like the very first thing out of his mouth is like your appearance.
Yeah, we're going to acne. All right. Yeah, what are you going to do?
And then,
He's
and
like
then Artie,
Rickles without the material.
right. Artie gets there. He's like, why don't you do some more heroin, you heroin addict? Like, okay. I mean, it's great
your
joke.
father died of paraplegic.
Oh, look what we have out here. What is that, a cunt? Hey, cunt.
He did not like when I trashed his set. That was the bottom line. That's what put him over where he needed to attack with guns blazing. When I saw him at, I think it was the brokerage on Long Island, and I talked about how I'd never gotten such a close parking spot to the door.
Which is a great joke.
He was so pissed off.
That was a great joke.
Because you hit on something that's so true to comics, which is when we're pulling up to a gig, the first thing we have to check is the parking lot.
Yes.
Because that's telling you right there. If you're there 20 minutes before the show and people are playing soccer in the parking lot.
Oh, it's brutal.
Like, it's brutal. So, I mean, when you say that, that's like such an inside thing. It cuts so deep. It's great.
Yeah, he hated that, man. Oh, there were plenty of people there. They walked.
They
They
walk.
took Ubers.
Uber pool.
So I just had one more question for you, then we can move on. Because he does say on the show that there was the Twitter battle going on and that he like got attorneys involved and sent you a cease and desist or something like that. Is any of that true, Anthony?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. That sounded so bizarre.
No, a cease and desist from Stuttering John. I would have laughed my balls off and read it.
Yeah, you would have done a
read it on
full
the air
episode
and
on
been
it.
like,
Absolutely.
are you out of your mind?
That actually
A cease
happened
and
to
desist.
the Revenge of the Cis guys, ROTC. They received a cease and desist from Stuttering John's quote-unquote attorney that was a
Yeah.
DM from Stuttering John's Twitter account. This is Stuttering John's attorney using his Twitter account. This is officially
yeah,
a cease and
great.
desist.
I've always said, like, a cease and desist is that first volley that they'll throw at you, if it's a real one, I mean. And
Yeah.
you could still do it. Like, the second one's probably the one you got to pay attention to because they're kind of gearing up for legal action. But the first one's literally someone just going, dude, knock it off, okay?
Right.
Could you please just knock that off? And then you go, fuck you, no. And you keep doing it until the next thing hits you. So a Stuttering John cease and desist would not put the fear of God in me if that one turned up at my door.
You know what's funny, too, is he probably thought that you took all the tweets down. Meanwhile, you just got banned from Twitter. Twitter took all the tweets
Yeah,
down.
look at that. I got him to remove all the tweets and change his name and phone number.
All right, a couple more clips. This is just from shows this week. John still has not figured out what the internet is or how it works.
Air, but one of the times I had you on, I think I was in Florida, and my mother just got out of the hospital. This is how sick these trolls are. They actually paid 49 times $5, $245 to use the N-word, and and they actually paid to write to my mother, who was watching this show live, "Die, Mrs. Melendez, you old hag." Now, what kind of human being? Who in their right mind would actually do that to an 84-year-old woman? It is the most bizarre, despicable, phenomenon in this world that you have people filled with so much hate that they're going to
Old Gravy Greg in our Discord raises his hand. What kind of person?
attack an innocent old woman who's just watching her son on a show. Do you know what I mean?
Die, you old hag. Sign Stuttering John. I need the inheritance.
You know he's going to move into that house. You know he's moving back to Long Island.
Hell yeah. Back home, Long Island.
So I just think it's funny that he still is confused by the fact that people troll people. It's the internet. It's not real people. That doesn't happen at your stand-up show. People are like, I hope your mom dies. It's not. But on the internet, that happens all the time. It's kind of how that works.
yeah.
Sometimes it's funny.
It's literally the only reason you're getting money is for people to talk shit.
Right.
That's it.
It's like when you're on Cameo and every Cameo you're reading is like an inside joke that they're goofing on you. You don't know any better.
Right.
Like, for example,
WATP. WATP.
it's like you're putting yourself out there, John. That's what's going to happen. So last thing oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I thought you were going to play the high pitch Eric where they made him say racist stuff at the end.
Oh, that's right.
Hi, this is High Pitch Eric, and you're listening to Who Are These Podcast? Chinese people smell.
Oh, wait, that might not be the real actor.
That is not right.
Welcome to Who Are These Podcast? White Power.
Holy shit.
High pitch. That's crazy.
He is Ron Burgundy, man. He'll read it.
Whatever you put in front of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and disclaimer, that was actually Shuli doing a high pitch impression.
Hi, this is Shuli. White Power.
He wouldn't be smart enough to not say his own name.
Right. You'll never hear at the end of that sentence. You'll never hear him go, "Oh fuck."
They call me again. All right, so again on the trolls, he's talking about he's got a beer on the balcony coming up, and he can't tell you who the guest is going to be.
Cancel my Patreon. You never acknowledge the post as often as promised. That's a load of crap. I do a beer on the balcony every week. I have one coming up this Saturday with the female comedian, who I won't mention names at first because I'd rather just have them on before the trolls try and. I know the trolls always try and get to you, Richard. I mean, it's just amazing, because even you go, "Do you know this guy?" I'm like, "No," and he's like, and he's trying to tell you, "Don't do this show," and
that's what I was talking about earlier. So he says that he's got a female comedian coming on, beer on the balcony. Well, he put a tweet out last night. It's since been deleted, but someone screen grabbed it. I'll read it for you here.
Shit.
This is Drunk John. I retweeted this and put alcohol plus Twitter equals. This is his tweet. I had a comedian guest cancel on me last minute because she was busy. Now I ask you, I've had Larry the Cable Guy, Jay Leno, fucking Guy Fieri on my show, Alonzo Bowden, Tammy Pescatelli, no one, all caps, is that busy to honor a commitment. I'm so sick of this shit.
Fuck that Hannah Gadsby.
You wouldn't even be in the news if it weren't for me.
I told you women aren't funny.
The hilarious Hannah Gadsby will be joining me.
What a strange thing for someone to say, "You know what, John, I'm sorry, I can't make it on the show," to put a tweet out motherfucking them and then saying he had Jay Leno. That was a year ago. He's still talking about like, "Oh yeah, I get Jay Leno on my show." It's never going to happen again.
That's
Listen,
him.
how many times have you had Leno on? Like, that's the thing,
Yeah,
there's some
right.
clubs. There's some clubs I've played at that I haven't returned to. Doesn't mean you know what I mean? Like, you got to them coming back is half the battle.
Yeah. He goes right to 11, though, man.
He does. That's why we
I'm
love him.
sorry. I have to cancel. I got something to do. Piece of shit. Fuck.
Hope you find the tumor.
Well, one of the things I was talking about, he has a book, as we all know. It's easy for you to say. And I thought, wait, does he read his own book for the audio version? And yes, he does.
Oh, Christ.
So this might have to be the next thing we
Now I
invest
gotta buy
in.
it.
Yeah, I'll get it for all of us. Don't worry, I'll pass it along. Because I want to hear him read his boring-ass book and break that down a little bit. Could be
We
fun.
should do an over/under how many times he burps while reading.
That's the problem is that there's someone editing that. I would love to hear the outtakes
Right.
from him reading his book.
didn't make the
Probably
cut?
aren't any.
It's natural. Just leave it that way. They expect me to sound like that.
You might be right, because he still thinks
Yeah.
like burping is funny.
Because it's work to fucking actually read a book and get every sentence down where you're not stuttering or, you
can't
sound
believe-
too spitty.
It's work editing, and you know what they expect
Yeah.
when they do the work? Money, and that's
That's right.
I got plenty of money.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
I'm good for it.
Shuli, I'll let you go. I do have some Scorch stuff that I want to get to, and if you have a few more minutes
Cool.
here.
I love it.
Okay.
Can I just dirty talk a little bit with Ant before I go?
Yeah, a little bit.
Talk about
We'll
some
do it
Call
on
of Duty
Twitch.
stuff.
It'll be awesome.
Hey, Ant, will you play Warzone with me sometime?
I would abso-fucking-lutely.
All right.
Yeah, I follow you on Twitch, and I'll pop on there and let's play. Yeah, we'll play. Me and you.
I'll feed the cats and wait for you to come home.
All right.
Love you. Bye, Carl. Love you guys.
Bye, Shuli. The Shuli Show, everybody, wherever you get podcasts, check out the Shuli Show. And Shuli, I did send you a note. Let's do another crossover again sometime soon.
I'm down, buddy. Let's
All
go.
right. Very good. Thanks, buddy.
See you guys.
See ya.
Later.
Oh, that was nice of him to come on and discuss
Very cool.
Stuttering John's drunken antics. What a mess.
Dude, him being so drunk and salivating like that is just, you could see it. It's an experience because it's audio, but you can see the spit.
Yeah, well, this one is actually HD video, and it's done in a studio that's set up just like Joe Rogan's. It's well lit. It's very professional, multi-camera shot, well directed.
Wow.
It's worth checking out. It already has 250,000 views. Both of these parts have been think about what Stuttering John show gets. 2,500 views, 3,000 views, and most people are trolling him. This show has 250,000 views on it, and every single comment underneath is goofing on John. Every single one. There's not one person who's like, hey, this guy seems like a good bloke. Like, not a single person. I love it.
Who are these podcasts? WATP.